What is going on, veteran family? You're the vet family. Thank you for tuning back in, or thank you for checking it out for the first time. If this is your first time, you're tuning into You're the Vet. However, this is a shorter version of You're the Vet, and what I mean by that is that this is a condensed version where I take a little tiny clip of a longer conversation that I've had with somebody else, and I give you the meat and potatoes of one or two questions that we go over. Primarily, something that I hope catches your ear and you decide to tune back into the full conversation. Yep, this is Warrior's Wisdom. The reason I created Warrior's Wisdom is because I know that people just don't want to sit and listen to a 1 to 2 to 3 hour conversation. And this conversation that I had with Andrew.Pierce.Esq actually went into a two-parter. So being a podcast listener myself, I know the struggle. But hopefully the conversations are captivating enough in order to keep your attention. Because captivating or not, they hold a ton of information. What it's like to transition, what it's like to fail, what it's like to succeed, what it's like to struggle, what it's like to be a student veteran / father, husband / go-getter. It's just, this conversation with Andrew, we legitimately talk about transition. And that's why you've tuned in, to talk about transition and to learn lessons from other individuals. Before we get into this conversation, I do want to ask you to pop on over to You're the Vet on iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or whatever platform you're listening to, and subscribe. Please leave a comment. Please share. Please visit my social media and engage with me there. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all You're the Vet, one word. And really, my hope is that you engage with the rest of the You're the Vet family and help each other. The whole purpose of You're the Vet is so that we all can learn from each other's transition mistakes. Because the ones that are out have already walked the path. So, in my eyes, we have this obligation to continue to lead from the front by handing down that information back to the military servicemen and women who are exiting the military or will be exiting the military at some point in their lives. Because one thing is for certain, everyone's time in the military will come to an end. Andrew served in the Navy, and you'll find that he fought his way into school all the way through law school, all while maintaining a family and his sanity somehow. Now, instead of serving his country in camis, he's serving his country in a suit and tie. And even though he has a title as he works with the City Council of Edmonds, Washington, Andrew labels his profession as process improvement. Hopefully you enjoy this episode of Warrior's Wisdom, and then go back and listen to the conversation of one of my first guests that helped me get You're the Vet off the ground. I really admire the conversation we had, and hopefully you will too. And other people can look into our lives and say, man, you're doing it, you're being successful, and no matter how many people will sit here and tell me to my face that I'm doing a good job, I turn inside, I'm like, I'm not doing good enough.
Yeah.
Do you go through that same thing?
I do. And I don't know. I think that might be just innate to being a human being. We're always more critical. There's a fascinating thing about the human brain, and I learned this through trying to become a better parent and learn about child rearing skills and all that shit.
Yeah.
One thing I learned is that children believe praise about themselves more when you're talking to someone else than they do if you tell them directly. Uh-huh. Basically, what they're saying is if a child overhears you telling someone else that they've done good, they're more likely to believe it than if you tell them straight to their face. Because human beings are wired to be skeptical of things that were told directly. This person could be lying. Yep. But there's less of an incentive to lie to someone else about me. So I'm going to believe it more if I hear someone over talking about me. So like, when you want to praise your kid, you don't praise it to them. You praise your kid to your wife. You tell them like, oh, man, Jake was such a good kid today. He was so polite to this lady at the store.
You're reinforcing the behavior.
What I'm getting at, though, is we are, in our mind, we are skeptical to believe the people who tell us, man, you're killing it.
Yeah.
And what's going to be more powerful is our own psyche, our own ego, and our own id saying, no, dude, you could be better.
Yeah.
No, man, you're not doing what you could do. And I think that comes from people who have goals, who have ambitions, who have drive, and that they're always looking to self-improve. They never, one of the things, and this is going to be important for transitioning people, especially guys who go on to college and go that route or anything. If you're going to a new career, you want to try something different, you're going to feel a lot of times that you're not adequate, man, that you don't belong there. I did that over and over again, even if I earned it, man. I earned my way into law school. You have to jump through so many freaking hoops. When I got a seat, I still got there and was like, man, I don't know if I'm as smart as all these other people. Like, I did the same thing they did to get there. And you're still going to doubt yourself. And I think it's part of our human condition. And you have to reflect, maybe take into some of what they're saying, take into account, but also realize, like, don't get so wrapped up into it that it takes you down, that, oh man, you're so driven to be better. If it's overwhelming you that you just see the fault in everything you do, man, go get some counseling, because that's a problem where, a counselor can help you work that shit out in your own head so that you're not wrapped up around that and focused on it to a point where it does start hurting your relationships and other things. And, when you're confronted with that, because I think all human beings are, and I think there's just some people who are better at not letting it affect them, and some people it overwhelms them.
So you've been talking a lot about seeking help and asking, right? So There's kind of two facets to this. Was there a leadership role? Was there a mentor before you got out? And then was there a specific person on the outside that you turned to as a mentor, as a leader, somebody that you can tap into at any time with a question about, am I on the right path, or can you point me, or whatever questions you had on attempting to regroup yourself and form back into society?
Yeah, no. And that's why I'm sitting here stressing the importance of reaching out and finding people around to help you, and reaching out for resources that can help you in different ways, is because when I got out of the service and I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna go to college,
and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell from that little snippet of conversation that Andrew brings a lot to the table in the conversation, and shares just a lot of wisdom that he gathered from trial and error, or as he coined it, failing fast, or was it failing forward? I don't know. I guess you're going to have to figure that out once you visit our full conversation from my budding days of growing Year the Vet. Once again, my call to action is to get you guys to head on over to all my social media platforms, Year the Vet, one word. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But more importantly, please leave a review or a comment or both on the podcast platform that you're listening to this on. And also a review on the Facebook page. That is all. And always remember, you're a hero. Live like one.